Welcome back, everybody, to the Back Nine coverage of Round 1 of the 2020 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship presented by Grip 6. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here yet again by Nathan Queen of North Carolina. What's up, man?
Still feeling good, ready to see this tough back nine that we have. We start off with 3 par 4s that get progressively longer and possibly progressively tougher.
Yeah, the front nine, we had a lot of scoring opportunities, and this card in particular didn't take advantage for the most part. Gregg Barsby is 4 under par. The rest of our card is really just struggling to take some birdies out here. And yet again, thank you so much for everyone who's tuned into Gatekeeper Media. We're going to continue to bring you great disc golf content. Make sure to subscribe to them on YouTube and make sure to check out their Patreon as well. And like you said, we move into this back nine, a lot tougher to score on, a lot of really tight gaps off the tee.
Yeah, hole 10 starts off, is going to be, I would say, the easiest hole on the back nine. So it's but you're still in the woods. It's not an easy hole.
No. And as you see, the hot number right now at this point in the round is about 4 under to 5 under. Got some work to do. Hole 10, like you said, easiest par 4, I'd say, on the course.
Yeah, 474 feet. Ideal landing zone is just around this corner right here. And then you have a pretty straight look to the basket. You've just got to make sure off the tee. The difficult part is to not push it too far and still turn at the right time. It's easy to miss early or late rather than turning into the gap.
I just throw my most overstable buzz on a hyzer. 474 par 4. You really don't need to throw that far off the tee.
Yeah, and that's looking straight down the gap. There's a couple trees you'd like to be past, but still a good look towards the basket. Like you said, 474, you're definitely within distance to reach it.
Jordan, with the common miss that you mentioned, just a bit deep. And this was sawed off right out of Gregg's hand.
Yeah, Gregg going with the opposite miss and going early. He doesn't kick right, so that's probably a good thing. He'll be on the edge. This is looking pretty good for Matt if it can flare off to the left. And yeah, that's a good shot.
For sure.
Looking right in between those 2 trees, which leads you straight to the basket.
And Barsby saw there was a pretty open flex line that he was trying to hit, and right in front of him, just couldn't get it out of his hand.
And yeah, he just bogeyed hole 9 to move back to 4 down. So he's not looking good here on this. It doesn't look like he's going to get a par from where he got that next shot to.
Oh, no. And there's a zone flick from me under the basket.
Nice. And that's how you want to see it played. Just slide it right up there. Don't bring any fading into.
And Matt just playing with an opportunity for a putt. He's not trying to park the hole. Solid choice from Matt.
Jordan, after pushing a bit long, got a high flex line. It looks like he's pushed it too far right, and he, again, gets another kick into you never know what. Yeah.
And Barsby had hit another tree on that last forehand. So he is still in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got a bogey look from about 25 or 30 feet. One he's definitely going to want to connect on. He needs to get it back together if he's going to stay in contention.
Scramble flick from Jordan. Not too shabby whatsoever.
Yeah, he's got to look to save his par now. Once you get in these woods, you really have to manufacture your way out. There's nothing that you can really be taught in some of these positions.
Exactly.
You just kind of have to do your best to look and see what's going on and figure out how to get out of there, as Matt gets a birdie by staying out of there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. I think there's a lot of intuition that this course forces you to employ. Nice par putt from Jordan.
Yeah, anytime that you get off into the woods, you really have to you just kind of got to
You have to get creative.
figure it out.
Most definitely. And Barsby, after really just some textbook forehands for him, one of the best sidearm players in the world, just kind of flubbing a few. There's a double bogey. And here's where things start to get a little challenging. Hole number 11, one of the iconic par fours here. Dead straight shot off the tee, 651.
Land here.
Yeah, land about here, which is about 375 to 425 off the tee. And then you have to throw this subtle hyzer left to this guarded basket. One of my favorite holes in the course.
Yeah, this is probably, I would say, moving to the toughest par 4 on the course, just because of how the pinch point you have once you get to the landing zone. The basket's pretty much straight off of the tee, but once you get to that landing zone, that's a good kick out to the middle there instead of fading off to the right. But once you get to that landing zone, it's not another straight shot. You kind of have to, just the way the angle is, it makes you throw. As a righty, most of the time you see a forehand if the player gets up there, so they can move it to the left and have it fade back right.
Jordan and Matt, both with pretty similar misses. And he slipped on that shot. I saw that.
Yeah, it looks like he slipped some. That's probably an eagle out of him, or was that one?
I'm not sure if it was a wraith or an eagle, but I think that white one is a wraith. And Matt thought he had that perfect and just clipped the only tree he had to miss.
Jordan trying to play pitch out golf and didn't quite make it. Kicks backwards, but he looks like he's back in the fairway still. This is a good looking flex line from him if this can get some carry forward.
It's up there somewhere.
Yeah, that got a real good slide up there.
Yeah.
It's just outside the circle, and he has another chance to save his par with a good putt.
Barsby going with kind of a
A little high in the air.
subtle hyzer with an eagle. And he'll be circle 2, kind of an obstructed putt. My goal on this one, I didn't feel like I had a straight line to the basket, so I just wanted to give myself a circle 2 look.
Yeah, you're not losing strokes on this one with a par.
No, definitely not.
This is usually the first backup hole that you run into when you have a lot of players here. This is, you see a lot of players struggle here. 4 feels pretty good.
I'm trying to get the 3 with this rattler.
Oh, and a good line there. Just comes up just a bit short. Tough to get enough on those flex shots like that when you're trying to touch them in.
Yeah.
Oh, and Gregg dancing on the basket, touching the chains.
That's about as close as you can get from that distance.
Oh, man. And Jordan knows it out of his hand. Just didn't. He wants that one back.
Solid putt for bogey there from Matt.
You can see his somber walk to the basket. He's starting to feel the nerves of this. This is his final round of the season.
Potentially, yeah. And, as Jordan taps out that bogey as well, you can kind of check UDisc and you can see where you need to be. And, sometimes it's discouraging in these types of events, these survivalist format tournaments, like halfway through the round, you have to start moving on it. But how much more movement can you make on this course?
Yeah, it's a pretty strange feeling. Moving on to hole 12, 819 feet. You really want to get as far as you can off of the tee and still stay left without going into the wood line. Around those yellow stakes you saw is an average or good average for this pro field spot to get to, because then you have to get into this narrow fairway at the end of it to get up to an elevated basket.
The farther up you are, the easier that second shot is. The farther back you are on this drive, it just gets very challenging to get up and down. I'm throwing a Zeus.
And this looks fantastic.
Almost split the uprights.
Yeah, that's a good spot to be. He has an angle to get up to the basket from there. Too much shorter than that, and your angle you're not going to be far
Exactly.
enough up to have an angle to reach the basket.
Barsby goes with a roller, and it's an okay spot. It's a little bit too far pinched
It's
right.
a good spot for par from there, as long as you can play safe. If you get aggressive, you're bringing in a bogey, but that's about a par spot from where that got to. Just leaking into the left side. Depending on his footing, there's still a chance to get in, but you really want to land in the open. This looks like it's going to be a little too high from Jordan as well. And
Yeah, just on the edge.
again, just on the edge. We'll have to see what type of footing he has.
And Matt did not like this shot. This burned way right. Roadrunner super high Anheuser from Barsby.
That was really good. Wow.
From where he was at, he threw that so high.
I didn't even think you could get that far from where he was at. Did that flex back out, or did it just roll in?
A little bit of pan.
Wow.
And I went a little wide with this hyzer, but I clipped something and I'm in a decent spot.
And then Jordan not having any run up at all, not able to keep the turnover on his disc, and he's faded out to the left, and that could be a really funny angle, or if he even has a way to get into the green.
And Matt, we actually had to look for his disc for quite some time. We did start a timer. We did find it.
Oh, that was Matt over there, huh?
Yeah, it was Matt over there. And actually, there's still movement, and that's why I was like, okay, it's my turn.
Right. Yeah, it's tough to get back out of the woods once you're in there sometimes.
Yeah.
Pretty far in there.
Just a little touchy zone shot.
Yeah, and again, a par is not going to lose you anything on this hole.
But like you said, you know, in these survivalist formats, you know what you have to get, you know, and
Yeah, at this point,
you have to attack.
you have to birdie all of them. Gregg with an opportunity from out of position, leaving it just low. You know, he's starting to get frustrated with that. I know that's a long look, but he just had a rough stretch and is falling out of contention. He needs these to drop to still have a chance.
Yeah, and I've only birdied 1 out of the last 6. No bogeys, but really just can't get it going on these second shots, and just slightly out of position on every hole. And we will see you on number 13. Hole number 13, par 3, 419 feet. This is a subtle bending hyzer to the left. You can take 2 gaps. There is an inside gap that you can throw a little bit flippier of a shot, more direct at the basket. There also is a wide backdoor hyzer that a lot of players are taking with a little faster discs. I'm trying to take the backdoor with this flick. And I just leaked a little bit too far to the right.
I'd say this is one of those kind of strange holes where the righty backhand and the lefty backhand is going to throw a pretty similar disc, even though it's moving right to left. Like as the righty backhand, you want to throw something that's going to stand on a hyzer that's going to stand up just a bit, but that doesn't have any fade.
Exactly.
Because the way that the ground play is, you're going to get that big flare off to the left if you throw something with any stability at all. And as the lefty, you're going to throw a similar stability disc because you want that anhyzer on it without it having to fade out at all as well.
Jordan kind of clipping a early tree. Might still have a putt at it from circle 2. Here's Barsby. Almost gets it.
Yeah, tough run from there, leaving it a little low.
Oh, there it is, Jordan.
Yeah, great birdie putt from Jordan. Trying to get a little bit of wind back in his sails. And let's see it again with the rewind.
That looked a lot more confident from Jordan. A lot of his putts today have been just a little bit too low, kind of short-armed.
Looked like he got his follow-through in there. He didn't short-arm it like he said.
Great putt. And yet again, I'm kind of pinched off. Weird spot. I'm going Rattler again.
Yeah, it's a pretty tricky putt up there high. If you run it real hard, it's easy to run past it.
Just hits off the pad.
And Matt with a good drive.
I've seen him make way too many of those putts. Just outside circle one, tiny little hot putt.
And taps it right in. You can tell he's still feeling it. He knows that he needs to be doing more. Because like we're saying, this is an elimination format. Only the top 4 scores of the 16 players here are going to be able to move on.
And hole number 14 is a new hole this year, 415-foot par 3. Again, early gap hitting is crucial, and this shot is hard. There is no relief here. If you do go pin high and you just throw straight, you have maybe a 30 to 40 footer. But if you do want to get a little bit more precise, there is a late flip shot that you can throw. But again, kind of a wooded risk-reward pro par 3.
Yeah, if you're following from last year, this hole was not here at all. Super straight shot, and that's for what it is. I feel like that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
That with Matt Bell, he has a chance to make that putt. We just saw him make a longer one on the last hole. This needs to miss that, is what I was going to say. He's pretty short now. That's going to be hard to get up there from there.
Yeah, that was a rough one. And as you can see, those gaps right there, barely wider than the tee pad.
Yeah.
Barsby has just laced this fairway. Just a little short, but he still has a circle 2 look. And I just have to pitch out here.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do from there. And that looks like it might have been an unfortunate little skip off of the tee pad there.
And here I'm going with an XL forehand.
This looks like a great recovery shot here.
This was the best shot of my round. I had left the disc I was going to tee off with on the previous hole. So I was a little frustrated at myself for that. So the pitch out was a little rushed.
Fantastic. You played way to take advantage of that pitch out though. You got what you wanted out of it.
Whoa.
And that was Jordan's par putt, I believe, right there. So he'll be taking another bogey, and pretty much he's going to be out of it at this point.
And he knows it, and at this point he's just trying to scrap for ratings at this point.
And Gregg still, again, these aren't easy putts, but he knows he's got to get those putts high enough. He had a great start to his round, had that lull, and he hasn't quite gotten back from it yet.
Matt taps in a pretty stress-free 3. And yeah, as you can see, this course, they are making you hit these really tight gaps with power and confidence. And if you are not hitting gaps today, it is not going to work for you out here at Hornet's Nest.
Yeah, you really have to choose to play for par. If you don't feel comfortable,
it's whatever bread and butter shot you have.
Right.
And
Moving
this one
on
is no different.
to 15, which is known as the Gauntlet. 321 feet. There is a Mando left side that you have to stay right of to throw down this 6 foot wide gap.
Yeah, it's about 6 foot wide.
Once you get out into the open, you still have to carry across a grassy part of the fairway to get back into the woods on the other side. And Matt Bell throws a good shot here, but is just off to the left. He's made the Mando, so he'll be able to advance forward from there.
Gregg with some really solid alignment on the tee pad.
Yeah, and Gregg pipes
Solid
it down the
shot.
gap, hits the grass before the wood line, and doesn't quite get into the woods. He'll be just outside the circle.
Jordan stands up on his drive,
One more, Jeremy.
but that's a decent kick that he got.
And then, as you heard him say, you're just happy to hit the gap here. Usually, at this point, everybody knows they need to get the birdie. Seems like they're struggling to get up to that position they need to be in to make it to the next day. Looks like you turn it just a bit too much.
And that's not a good kick. That's going to be a fun spot. It's a solid shot from Bell.
Matt Bell pulling some tricks out of the woods over there. The good turnover, getting up for a par chance. And Jordan catching some early stuff up high. Again, just showing anywhere that you land off the fairway, it gives you a really tough lie out here.
I tried going a little bit of a early flipping roller, and I'm not going to have a spot there. Just a little bit off. Oh, what a putt from Jordan to save the 3.
That's a feel-good putt right there.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, great par save.
Yeah, let's see that again. That was kind of like
that's-
low. That was way too low key to not see again. Just a little stepper.
Just so much spin out of his hand. Just gets so much speed on it.
Clean 70-footer from Jordan.
Couple re-rinds in the last 3 holes for Jordan here. It looks like you got to a great spot over there. You know, no problem from there.
That's going to be a layup for a bogey.
And Gregg, he's got the birdie chance here. After that great forehand off the tee. Going to be looking to get it high enough.
Yeah, there's a good putt for birdie.
Just gets it in there. He's still trying to hang on here. He's got 16, 17, 18 left. And he knows he needs all 3 of them to be able to move on.
Another solid putt from Bell. He still has a chance as well. If he birdies out, there's a chance to move on to the next round. You just never know, people at the top, any hole on this course can bring a big number about. So you really just got to stay hopeful.
And this probably feels a bit like a dagger to you.
Yeah. I knew at that point.
You still want to get your last 3 birdies, but you're even doing that, you don't feel great about it.
And 16 is not an easy birdie. 357-foot par 3 uphill tunnel. So starting out of the woods, going into the woods, and then bending downhill to the left to a blind basket. And if you go too straight and too long, you are also out of bounds. So
yeah, and
just a hard hole.
That plays way into play for the lefty backhand, trying to go down that right side.
Yeah.
There is a smaller left side you can see some people go for as well. If this stands up, that's a little too inside still. It sounded like it snuck through a little bit, but if you kick into the middle, then there's not a whole lot out of there. This looks pretty good out of Jordan, but is a bit inside, but it's not inside.
No, it's parked. Great shot. And I don't like the uphill for the sidearm. I'm trying to go with a super flippy Comet.
That's such a scary shot. I can't talk myself into going on the right side with that OB down there.
Yeah, it's one of those holes that you can throw pretty much anything on, and it's really a slot machine. You try to get lucky. I'm flicking that same Comet, steep hyzer.
That was a smooth out there. Great recovery shot. It's got a chance for par now.
And you hear him say nope as if he's running the basket on this one. He's so fun to play with.
And a great par save. Most people are happy to move away with this one with a par. It's such a specific shot to hit.
Oh, yeah.
And if you get in the middle, it's really easy to bogey as well.
Barsby with a simple par. And we still haven't gotten to Jordan yet.
A great birdie there from Jordan. Again, a feel-good
birdie for sure.
Feel-good birdie.
Me and Jordan at this point, we kind of looked at each other after this hole, and we both were like, let's just finish out, do the best we can. Everyone's kind of checking UDisc at this point, trying to make sure that their game plan is set. Okay, that was a highlight from Matt.
Got some tricks. Moving on to hole 17, bringing in a par 5 this year.
Yep, brand new placement.
Yeah, from a longer tee. 727 feet. You want to get up, if you can get past this short tee right here, in general, that's going to be a pretty good shot, preferably about 100 and 150 feet past it. So you can, on your second shot, get up to just around this corner to around where you see this pipe in the ground at. And then you'll have your easy pitch up to try to get your birdie. It is possible to get an eagle. You can push this corner from the tee. It's a very long, tight, wooded fairway to get there, though.
It definitely is. And I think a good play here actually is mid-range off the tee if you're going for the birdie. I think it's very enticing to go for the long shot, but there isn't much benefit. Jordan hitting one of those early trees.
That's the last tree to miss. If he would have missed that one, he would have had a great spot in the fairway. Kicks off to the right, though. This needs to just miss, and
that's not a good spot.
Early left, he'll be pitching out back to the fairway, most likely.
Matt going with Hurricane again. And he's going to be on the edge. He's going to be pretty far up there, though. He might have a shot to get to the landing zone for a birdie. And this was really my first time playing the hole. Looking back, I think a mid-range would have been a good play, but at this point, I didn't really care. I was just trying to make some cool things happen, and
trying to do cool things on the way out.
Yeah, exactly. I knew I wasn't going to be making it at this point. Barsby with a big out he was going for, did not quite capitalize on it.
Gets back out to the edge. He should have a look there to get around to the corner at least. And he gets another kick. That's actually not a bad place down there. He's in a flat spot, a little further away than he was looking for, but he's still got to look towards the basket. Jordan going aggressive from right side over there, getting up and around the corner. He'll still have a chance for his birdie look there.
And I thought this shot was really good, but
it looks like it's pushed a little long from the corner.
I did not know the hole well enough, and I am way deep. Matt was trying to scrap through kind of the inside line through the woods. And this is one of those shots that you have to be careful on.
Yeah, he looks like he's nervous about hitting his hand there. And you also know he's probably trying to throw it in because this is his birdie shot and he knows he needs it.
I got scared.
And
he got scared.
Got a little scared. You can't blame him. That's your moneymaker. If you hit your hand, you can't do anything.
Absolutely. So. Jordan just kind of pitching out there. And I am so deep. I'm comically deep in the woods here. And that was all I had.
Yeah, just kind of pitching back. We've got Matt from somewhere over on the left side in the woods.
Just struggling to get a clean shot off on this hole.
Settle.
I think it's a great par 5.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's not one of the longer par 5s that you see, but there's so much treachery if you don't stay in the fairway.
Oh my gosh.
Gregg's still trying to throw it in. So this is your 4th shot here?
I was trying to throw that in at this point. I was just trying to have some fun. Didn't get it, but not too bad.
Yeah, and we got a really cool green here as well. Mm-hmm. The mound's built up, and then this manufactured rock that looks very real. It's very realistic to raise the basket up.
Par putt from Jordan.
Yeah, good par putt there. It's higher than it looks like on camera. It's pretty far up there. And tapping in the bogey, ready to move on to 18, see if you can open one up.
Exactly. Matt taps in a par after all of that.
Yeah, it seems like he was in the woods for a long time. That's a good par.
Yeah, not too shabby.
So as you can see here, most of the cards probably not feeling good about it now. You've got a couple people under par, but looking at UDisc, you know that there's some people down at 5 or 6 under, and just looking to finish the season with a birdie here. Pretty tough hole to do it. 486 feet downhill. You've got a head, or a head or a right to left coming in a lot of the time.
Jordan has put a great move on this disc. That's park job, 486.
Yeah, that's a great way to finish for him, unfortunately, the season. But just to get here, you know, the payout out here is amazing. Everybody that's even out here playing
Makes at least $1,000.
still gets at least $1,000. So kudos to the Disc Golf Pro Tour for doing such a great job to get the payout up there and have these touring players get some of what they deserve for being out here on the road all year long.
Barsby leaking a bit left. I'm going with a Zeus here.
That's a good stand-up you got. Just a little bit of fade.
Yeah, a little bit too low for the perfect line, but I'm right there on circle 2.
Stay folded long enough, but
And look, okay, pay attention to this. This is a
one of those
blowfly.
blowflies.
He's folding it up, and then he folds it into itself. This is totally legal, folks. I've never seen this before. Completely legal, and he's parked.
He showed us that while we were at Ledgestone one year, one of the houses we were staying at. That's a pretty cool trick. If you're, if you used to play baseball and you're 20 feet away, buy you a blowfly, fold it up, and pitch it on in.
And Barsby said that since we were next to each other, we weren't allowed to jump this putt. So I'm taking my Rattler again. I was all over the basket with that thing all day.
Just a bit low. I was hoping he was going to throw it in there for us too.
And Matt and then pulls the blowfly through the cage. My jaws dropped at this point. I did not understand what had just happened.
So cool way to finish the round, get to learn some new tricks.
And
Jordan just tapping in a birdie.
you know, as much as the round did not go according to plan for pretty much our whole card, it was still a blast and everyone was in good spirits. There you have it, folks. All 4 of these players will not be moving on to round number 2.
Yeah, we'll have 12 new players coming into the round tomorrow.
And as you can see, congratulations to Eric Oakley, Andrew Presnell, Jeremy Culling, and Thomas Gilbert. They will be moving on to join those 12 new players in the second round of the Pro Tour finale. Thank you all again so much for listening and watching. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube, and we will see you next time.
We'll see you guys out there.